Hello, everybody. Welcome to Champions Mind MMA. As I promised, I came to discuss UFC Fight Night last night. Cory Sandhagen versus Yadong. But before we go any further, I would like to encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel and to share your comments below. And so this is one of the things I like about the UFC, because all the events are great. Okay, you don't have to wait for those big pay-per-view events, with big names, with superstars on them, to watch, because sometimes some of those little cards, with less known fighters, or fighters who are not as known as to be big stars, they produce some of the best fights, because you have those young guys, those newcomers to the UFC, the guys that are hungry, that want to make a name for themselves, that want to take advantage of these opportunities. They put on some of the best fights, and last night was no different. I mean, we can start from the preliminary cards. There was, great fights all over the place. You had a fight between there was a fight in the women flyweight division. Jillian Robertson versus Maria Gapova. Great fight. Gapova started to give Jillian Robertson problem with those elbows. Every time Jillian tried to take her down, she was throwing those elbows, toward her ear with bad intention. But at some point, I thought it was gonna be a problem for her, because we have seen before, where fighters got knocked out with those elbows. Like your opponent, you're trying to take your opponent down, and you're focusing on your takedown, and you're taking those elbows. You're not, by the time you think it's, you should address them, and it's too late, you got knocked out. But Jillian, she stayed the course, took the elbows, and then later on, she made some adjustment, took Agapova down, and submitted her. Then we had a fight, and another fight in the women's strawweight division. Loma Lukbonmi versus Denise Gomez was also a great back and forth fight. But Lukbomi was definitely way much stronger than her. She did get some good moments in the fight, but eventually Lukbomi, won by decision. And then we had the featured prelim fight between Damon Jackson and Pat Sabatini. That was supposed to be kind of really a competitive fight, between those two guys. But unfortunately for Pat Sabatini, who is a great fighter, I mean, I've seen him before, he's great. But unfortunately for him, just a little bit over a minute, Damon Jackson TKO'd him. So great performance for Damon Jackson there. When we move on to the main card, I'm so happy for Anthony Hernandez and Andre Fili. I mean, those guys are guys that I have watched, fighting in the UFC. Sometimes they struggle to put on a good win streak, but they're great fighters. They have the skills, but that's just it. That's just the way it is when you fight in an organization, with so many good fighters, like the UFC. But so I was happy for both of them. Got their hands raised last night. Anthony Hernandez by submission, Andre Fili by split decision. I thought he won by a unanimous decision, but I'm not a judge, and that's not how the judge saw it. But regardless, he won. Joe Pyfer, I mean, what a performance! Welcome, man. To the UFC. Then we had that fight, the co-main event. I told you guys that was gonna be a great fight. I've seen both of those guys fight before. I knew they were gonna put on a great performance, and did they not? At the beginning of the fight, it seemed like Andrew Kwani was on his way to win a TKO against Gregory Rodriguez. He caught him coming in with a vicious knee that split him open right in between his eyebrows. Big gosh, blood was dripping. They had to call in the doctor. I mean, everybody was keeping their fingers crossed, because we thought the fight was gonna stop. But I love that doctor, man. I mean, he let them fight. And then they fought, and toward the end of the round, Rodriguez almost actually KO'd Andrew Kwani, but he survived. And I mean, obviously, Andrew Kwani was a great fight. He's a great fighter. I thought even before the fight, I thought he was gonna win this fight. I seen both of them fight, but I thought I had, I thought, Andrew Kwani would be the winner, but they went back and forth, and um, so in the second round, Rodriguez, moved forward, and in one of those situations, we had seen it before, to where, you know, a fighter hit his opponent with the best shot that he could, shots that he knocked out everybody, knocked out everybody with. But this fighter, just took the same shots but keep coming. And I think that's kind of what happened, with Andrew Kwani. So eventually he kind of, I guess, Rodriguez kind of noticed, that he was, I guess, fading a little bit, got fatigued. Excuse me. So he moved forward. They got into a clinch. He threw him to the ground and just kind of punched his way to a TKO. Until the referee had to step in. So he won by TKO. That was a great fight, and I'm happy that those guys were awarded with fight of the night bonus. So each one of them won $50,000. I mean, that was very well deserved. Then we had the main event, Cory Sandhagen versus Song Yadong. Man, Song Yadong made that fight a lot more competitive than I thought. They said everybody around this guy, around this kid, in the gym, you are a favor, and everybody, say that he's a future champ, and I have no reason to doubt it. I mean, this kid is good. He has good technique. I mean, he has heart. He keep, good pressure. I think, he fought a real good fight, against a fighter like Cory Sandhagen, and who is such a dangerous fighter, has such a skillful fighter. And and they say the judges had it 2 for 2, 2 for Cory Sandhagen, 2 for Song Yadong heading into the 5th round. But with this big, elbow that Cory Sandhagen opened, is a big cut, in his left eyebrow. The same doctor, looked at it, let them fight, but eventually they had to stop the fight, and therefore Cory Sandhagen won by TKO. The post-fight interview, Cory Sandhagen called out Chito Vera and Merab Dvalishvili for his next fight. I think both of them are worthy, would be a worthy opponent for Cory Sandhagen. In my opinion, if I could get my way, I would love to see Cory Sandhagen against Chito Vera. I think that would be an awesome fight. There is a fight for the belt coming up. I think it's on October 22nd, in Abu Dhabi, UFC 280 versus UFC 280. It's Aljamain Sterling against TJ Dillashaw for the championship, belt. I think they should put on a fight between Cory Sandhagen and Chito Vera in December for the #1 contender. So the winner of this fight would fight the winner of Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. So this is what I would like to see. But you guys, leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me, who would you like to see Cory Sandhagen fight next? And I'll be coming back soon, guys, to talk about the upcoming events for the week, for next weekend and the weekends, to come. So there's so many great fights, coming up. So I'll be talking to you guys, from time to time. So you guys have a great rest of the weekend until I see you again. Peace.